friends, welcome to another beautiful edition of Annie Otter's channel. In today's edition, I am going to be talking about how I met my husband. Some of my fans has been inboxing me to talk about this topic. Again, I willingly want to talk about it. And again, I took permission from my husband to be able to talk about him. So if today's your first day watching me, please hit the red button that says subscribe. And you will be among the very first people that will be notified whenever I post something new. If you are a returning friend, family, well-wisher, thank you so much for coming back. I love it. All right, so let's have a relationship gist. You can call it gossip, but just know that I'm the best person to talk about myself, my story, my life. So let's go, guys. Let me give us a little background. My husband and myself, we came from the same village, the same Nduche compound, okay? So my husband's family and my family have these generational ties, generational relationship. So his father, my grandfather, my father, my in-laws, I mean, we're all interwoven. There's this relationship that has been on and on generations back. So to the extent his father and my grandfather had namesake each other, okay? So when that happens, we call it Obo in my dialect. So my grandfather had named one of his sons after my father-in-law, and my late father-in-law named one of his sons after my late grandfather. So just to tell you how the relationship, how back the family relationship has been. So in December 1994, my husband came back from US, and by then I believe I was about 20 years old. So I was in high institution already. So when he came back that December, I just knew him as our family friend per se. And his late brother and my late brother-in-law were business partners. So we were already going to his brother's house where he used to stay whenever he comes back from US. So I was already used to the family. So his niece was is one of my best friends already. So prior to that 1994, when my husband used to come back from US, his niece used to take me there, or we used to go there, and he would give us some little, you know, American gift back then. So I was a little girl. So, but when he came back that 1994, it happened to be that he was actually looking for somebody to marry. So along the way, I came into the picture. I was about 20 years then. I came into the picture to be married. So they approached my father directly, because his elder brother and my father are like, they have been like childhood friends. They went to primary school together, and they live in Cameroon and everything. So we have this family, strong family ties, okay? So his elder brother and my father, they had this discussion, and me, I did not even know that the discussion had been going on behind me. So along the way, I came into the picture, and my husband that day, by then he wasn't my husband anyway. So at night, they came to our house, and he came with my brother-in-law. That's one of my sister's husbands. So they were classmates also, just to tell you how the family has been tied for so long. So they came to our house that evening, and I served them food. Me, I did not even know that discussion was going on about me. So I believe maybe my husband wanted to take a closer look at me or something like that. Because my mom had 3 daughters, then my brother, myself, and my younger brother. So my older 3 sisters have already gotten married and left the house. So I was that little girl in the house at the time. So I served them food and, you know, welcomed them and all that. Then later the next day, my friend, who is my husband's niece, came. So that my friend came to our house, and And she said, "Oh, let's go, Annie. Let's go and see my uncle. He came back from US. Da, 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 da. Let's go and visit." So me innocently, I said, "Okay, let's go now. Let's go." So I dressed up and we went to my husband's brother's house where he was staying. So my husband had this like one room where he was staying. So this my friend, we went into that room together, and somehow I didn't know it was a plant something. So somehow she told me, "Oh, Annie, let me go and greet people in the kitchen, blah 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 blah." I wanted to follow her. She said, "Oh no, I'll be right back. Just wait." So she left. I believe she will be laughing when she watches this. So she left me in that room with my husband. Then my husband started talking to me, asking me questions, personal questions, where I was schooling, how far have I gone, how old I was, blah, 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 if I was dating, and all that. So along the way, he gave me gifts, lots of gifts like he never gave me before. So clothing, cologne, that was my first time seeing $100 bill. So he gave me $100 bill and I was looking, dollar. So anyway, I wasn't all that excited anyway. But I took the money in good faith based on existing family relationship, okay? So there wasn't anything attached to it. So it was after that incident, then my friend returned. I went home, but my heart was pounding. What is this all about? What is this all about? But I did not say it out. I went home and I kept the whole thing one-sided. Then I started hearing whispers around me that this person from America have come to marry me. And I was like, "Oh, me? No way. No, me, I'm in love with another person," things like that, As a young girl of 20 in the high institution, yeah, you're going to have somebody along the way. And it doesn't mean you were maybe sexually involved. But I had some male friends that I really liked at the time that I was contemplating where the relationship will lead us to, okay? So after that incident, then one day my husband came to our house and he requested to talk to me, and I was like, "Okay, I'll give him audience." So we were in one of our rooms because my dad have two houses. So one downstairs that was built in the late 70s, and upstairs one-story building that was built in the mid 80s to late 80s. So it was more like a modern house. So I was in that older house when my husband came. So the houses are very close to each other. So I was in the older house when my husband came and he requested to talk to me one-on-one. So he started talking to me. I was like, what are we actually talking about? And I was a little shy though, a little shy young girl. So he was like, he wants to marry me. I said, "Mike, you want to marry me?" Say me, "Oh no, me, I don't want to marry now. I'm still in school and I'm not old enough to marry. Me, I'm not even looking into marriage at this time. No, 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 I haven't grown that much." He was like, "No, you're an adult, blah, 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 blah. And it's not something that is going to happen right now. You take your time as much as you want, and we have to process visa, do this, do that. So it might take a while." He spoke and spoke and spoke and spoke. I was like, my mind kept on wandering. I said, when is he leaving? When is he leaving? Then along the way he left. I became depressed. Honestly, I became depressed. Just like some people will be excited they're getting married, or maybe somebody from America came to marry them. They'll be excited and all over. For me, I was depressed. I was depressed about it. First of all, I wasn't ready for marriage. Secondly, I thought my heart belonged somewhere else. Thirdly, I was like, the age difference was an issue to me. Fourthly, I didn't know him that much. So I don't know how I can just marry somebody based on other people's testimonies, So again, everything I have known about courtship and marriage was just overruled. That's another problem I had with that. So after that, the relationship went on and on. He was coming to our house every day. Sometimes I would sneak away. If I hear his voice coming through the front door, I would sneak away. I didn't want at all whatsoever. I didn't want that relationship. I didn't. I was like, no, that can't be me. I don't want to. Then along the way, my dad will call me, talk to me, advise me as a father, and my elder ones will talk to me as, as their little sister. Some relatives will talk to me. And again, the decision was totally up to me. So along the way, I said, okay, let me give it a try and see how everything goes. If it doesn't work, I'll be the first person to get out, okay? So everybody agreed. Then along the way, within that January of 95, then the December of 94 had finished. So it rolled into January 95. So along the way, and we were talking about filing some documents for me to come to US. And they were like, okay, before we can do this, there must be certain things to ascertain that there is a marriage or relationship going on. And we had a little get together in my father's house, more like introduction. Then after, even if all those things have been done, but within me, I wasn't sure I wanted to be in that relationship. To be honest with you, I was like, if it works out, fine. If it doesn't work out, I'm still young. I will move on with my life. So that's around January 1997, my husband came home. So between that 95 to 97, he didn't come. But again, he was calling me on the phone, sending me stuff. And me being who I am, I did not take any stuff he sent to me. Because I would be like, I don't want any situation people will say, oh, she has been eating American stuff, now she's running away. I said, no, until everything works, so I don't want to collect. People will come from US, they will bring me stuff. Somebody will come to school and call me that my husband sent stuff. I'll be like, no, I'm sick, I can't travel now. I will just fake something. And sometimes he will even send money. I will not collect that money. Whatever they did with that money, I don't know, but I did not collect any of those because I wanted to be free. I didn't want to be tied to any of those things. So, and I didn't want people to feel like I was moved by all those little gifts. No, my father used to have a lot of money, so financially I was sufficient, okay? So at that time, I was like, okay, what else can I do? So he came back that January 1997, and we're talking about this and that. I'm like, okay, I've already stayed 2 years in Nigeria, roaming about, going to Lagos, doing this and that. And I don't know where we are heading to in this relationship. If it's going to work, it's going to work. I'm not going to do any long distance relationship at my age. Nobody's going to keep me in Nigeria or start making babies with me in Nigeria while the person is living overseas. And the rumor was out there when once you born for them, they will relax. They won't even fight about getting your papers. So for me, I was constantly running. So within that interval, there was no sexual relationship between us. So I was just my own personal person. So along the way, we wanted to go to Lagos, to embassy. That time was the time people will go like early in the morning to the embassy, and you will queue in the line and wait, and people will be pushing around and all that. So we went to the embassy. For me, if you've been to Lagos embassy, there's some type of water or small river across from the embassy gate. So me, I would just go and sit there, eat ice cream. So I love ice cream. So I'll be sitting there eating ice cream, and he will be in the line, blah, blah, blah. So, when it's time, come you. I'll just chill by that water. So sometimes we go, we come back, we won't be able to enter. Sometimes we enter, nothing will happen. By the time you get to us, everywhere have closed. So when we came to Lagos, he wanted us to go in a hotel. I was like, no, my uncle's in Lagos. Why going to a hotel? My uncle has a very nice, house in Lagos. So why going to hotel? So we went to my uncle's house. They gave my husband a guest room, and I slept in my uncle's children's room. I didn't care because I wanted to keep my own privacy. I didn't want any relationship like intimacy with him. So I was just keeping my cool on this corner. So just in case of anything, they say make you not put your egg in one basket. I did not dare do that. So again, one of those days, we went back to East again. So another time we traveled back to Lagos, and before we left home, I told him, look, if I go this time and they don't give me those papers, just know this marriage is not the will of God, and everything will be untied. You go your way, I go my way. I want to mind my business, you know. And meanwhile, while I was waiting for that 2 years interval, I left school. I didn't finish up my education, my higher institution education, because of the shuffling around of Lagos and the East and all this stuff. So it wasn't going to be comfortable or for me to be successful in school while shuffling around. And again, I have been told that I will soon get my document and travel even before my graduation. So there was no need staying in school that I will not be graduating from and spending money. So I needed that time to shuffle between East and Lagos. So in one of those trips back to Lagos, I told him, look, if I go this time and they don't give me those papers, just know this is not the will of God. You mind your business, I mind my business, and everything will go just like that. Me, I don't want to be doing this, and I'll be getting older in Nigeria here, and I'm not gonna be able to marry. Although I was pretty young. By that time I was about 22 years old, okay? So I was very, very young. So along the way, so we went that day to the embassy. My husband was an American citizen already. So we went that day to the embassy, and somebody was in line, like in front. Person will not get anywhere to go overseas, but they will just come early in the morning and queue in the line, and they will sell those the position of their lines. So we came and we bought one of those lines of somebody who was queuing in front, and we paid that person. So we took that person's position. So we were called and we went into the embassy. My husband pulled all his documents as American citizen, and his affidavit of support, his job, and all his personal information. He pulled everything out. So they looked through everything. They looked through what we had, and they said, okay, we should go and wait. They told my husband to pay for application fee. So he did, and they asked us to wait. After waiting for a while, they called us again. They asked me some questions about him. I answered. They asked him about me, just maybe 2 questions each. He answered. Then they gave me green card package from Nigeria. And when I got that green card package, oh, naive me, I started crying. And he was like, why are you crying? And I told him I thought this wasn't going to work out. So they won't give it to me this time, because I've already said if they don't give me, I won't marry. I'm not going to do again. But as they come, they stamp the whole thing, give me the green card package. And I started crying because I wasn't ready for marriage at all. I was not ready. And again, because I didn't have that time to really bond with him, to know him, you know, to kind of fall in love with him. I didn't have that space, and that was why I was very, very naive about the relationship. It wasn't his fault. It wasn't my fault. It was that distance. So it really put strain in that relationship. But I kept my cool because, again, I was young. So it wasn't stamped in a tablet of stone that it must be a must, okay? So we all understood that part, that it wasn't a must. If it works out, good. If it doesn't, everybody will mind their business. So that's why I maintained my policy of keeping my distance, okay? There was no intimacy during all this time. I kept my cool, and I told him, no, it's gonna be a no relationship, intimacy during this time, until I live with you under one roof. That's when anything will happen. But for me, I go be myself, you go there your own, okay? So that's how I met my husband. Again, it was more like family ties, family relationship. Again, this goes back to foundation, okay? How was your foundation formed? Some people will say it was arranged marriage, but it wasn't. Just like I said, if somebody introduced you to somebody, you have the right to decline, and you have the right to build that relationship, to find out who that person is, and you have the right to carry on or to say no. It's all belong to you, okay? So that's how I met my husband, and now we have been married for 26 good years, and everything is cool. I'm loving it. He's loving it. And we have 4 children, okay? So it's cool. It's really cool. We have three adult kids, and my youngest one is 13. My son is 13. So yes, that's why people will be like, "Oh, you have children in their 20s?" I'm like, "Yeah, I started early." So by age, before I hit my 24th birthday, I've already had my kid, my first one. Then by the time I hit 25, I have already had my second one. Okay. So all right. So that's my story. Okay. So thank you so much for listening. I love you guys. Again, please subscribe to my channel, share, love, and comment. Bye, guys. Bye.